In the vast expanse of the galaxy, where ancient species weave the fabric of the cosmos, one world has always been overlooked, avoided, and feared: Earth. Its inhabitants, deemed primitive and insignificant by those who have mastered the stars, are about to face the impossible. The Galactic Unity Council, a gathering of the universe's most powerful civilizations, stands at a crossroads as the Dominion, a ruthless empire, declares its audacious invasion of Earth. But as the announcement echoes through the chambers of Harmony Prime, a chilling truth emerges. The Council may have underestimated humanity's true nature. What the Dominion doesn't know is that the Earthlings they dismiss as weak are, in fact, the galaxy's most formidable warriors. This is the story of how a species, written off as a footnote in galactic history, rises to prove that underestimating humans is the greatest mistake anyone could ever make. The impossible declaration, the massive circular chamber of the Galactic Unity Council floated serenely in the void between stars, its crystalline walls reflecting the light of distant suns. Inside, representatives from 300 worlds sat in their specially designed seats, their forms as diverse as the stars themselves. Some resembled walking trees with silver bark that hummed with energy. Others appeared as floating clouds of luminescent gas contained within environmental suits. A few looked almost humanoid, but with skin that shifted colors like living aurora. At the center of this cosmic assembly, Ambassador Krex of the Star Dominion stood tall, on his 6 legs, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the chamber's soft lighting. His compound eyes swept across the gathered delegates as his mandibles clicked together in what his species considered a confident gesture. The Dominion controlled over 50 star systems and commanded one of the most feared military forces in known space. Elder Y Speaker Thane, the ancient leader of the Council, leaned forward in his chair. His people, the Eternal Wanderers, lived for thousands of years and had seen the rise and fall of countless civilizations. His weathered face showed deep concern as he spoke in his gravelly voice that carried the weight of millennia. Ambassador Krex, please repeat your announcement for the record. Some of us find it difficult to believe what we just heard. Krex's mandibles spread wider, showing rows of sharp teeth in what passed for a smile among his kind. Honored members of the Council, the Star Dominion hereby declares our intention to claim the 3rd planet of the Sol system. The world the inhabitants call Earth will become our newest colony within one standard galactic cycle. The reaction was immediate and explosive. Representatives throughout the chamber began speaking rapidly in dozens of different languages. Some stood up in alarm while others activated their translation devices, thinking they had misunderstood. The gentle hum of the chamber's environmental systems was drowned out by voices expressing shock, disbelief, and in some cases genuine fear. Delegate Zyra of the Crystal Collective, whose translucent form shimmered with internal light, rose from her seat. Her voice resonated like chimes in the wind as she spoke. Ambassador, surely you cannot be serious. Earth is classified as a forbidden world. No species has attempted contact with its inhabitants for over 2 centuries. Forbidden? Krex laughed, a harsh sound that echoed through the chamber. By whose authority? These humans are a primitive species that has barely begun to explore their own star system. They fight among themselves with chemical explosives and metal projectiles. What possible threat could they pose to our advanced fleets? Elder Thane slowly stood, his ancient joints creaking with the effort. The chamber fell silent as all eyes turned to the oldest being in known space. When he spoke, his words carried a weight that made even the most powerful representatives listen carefully. Young Ambassador, your ignorance is exceeded only by your arrogance. You speak of humans as if they were any ordinary species, but they are far from ordinary. They come from what we call a death world, a planet so hostile that it has forged them into something unique in the galaxy. Krex's compound eyes glittered with amusement. Death world? Elder, with respect, age may be affecting your judgment. Yes, their planet has some harsh environments, but many worlds have dangerous climates. This does not make them special. Thane's expression grew grim as he accessed his personal memory banks, files that contained records spanning thousands of years. 247 years ago, the Seeker Alliance sent a scientific expedition to study Earth from a distance. They were discovered by human space monitoring systems despite using our most advanced stealth technology. The humans tracked their ship, analyzed their energy signatures, and within days had reverse-engineered enough of their technology to build crude but functional spacecraft. The chamber stirred uneasily as Thane continued. The Seekers, thinking they were dealing with a primitive species, attempted to establish contact. They landed on Earth's surface with a small diplomatic team. Within hours, they found themselves surrounded by human military forces who had somehow predicted exactly where they would land. Delegate Mora of the Singing Winds, whose ethereal form rippled with concern, spoke up. What happened to the expedition? The humans captured 3 Seeker vessels and held the crews for what they call cultural exchange. During those weeks, they learned our languages, studied our technology, and asked questions that revealed an understanding of physics and engineering that surprised even our best scientists. When they finally released the expedition, they had gifts for the Seeker Alliance. Gifts? Krex asked, his confidence beginning to waver. Improvements to Seeker technology that made their ships 20% more efficient. Medical knowledge that helped cure diseases the Seekers had struggled with for generations. Art and music that moved some of the expedition members to tears. And a warning. The chamber was now completely silent except for the soft hum of life support systems. Even the most skeptical delegates leaned forward to hear what came next. The humans told the Seekers that Earth was not ready for galactic contact. They asked politely but firmly for all alien species to stay away until humanity was prepared to join the cosmic community. They said they needed time to mature as a species and prove they could be trusted with the power that comes from galactic knowledge. Krex's mandibles clicked nervously. Surely the Alliance didn't agree to such a ridiculous demand from a primitive species? Elder Thane's eyes grew distant as he remembered events from centuries past. The Seeker expedition leader, a being who had negotiated with hostile species across half the galaxy, said that the humans were the most terrifying and wonderful species he had ever encountered. They showed mercy when they could have taken revenge, wisdom when they could have demanded immediate access to our technology, and a strength of will that impressed even veteran diplomats. The Seeker Alliance agreed to the humans' request and placed Earth under voluntary quarantine. Other species, learning of this decision, chose to respect it as well. The general consensus was that any species capable of impressing the Seekers so thoroughly was worth being cautious about. Delegate Korth of the Machine Worlds, whose robotic form sparked with electronic interest, processed this information quickly. Elder Thane, are you suggesting that humans are more dangerous than they appear? I am saying that humans are survivors in a way that most species cannot comprehend. Earth is not just harsh, it is actively hostile to life. Ice ages that last for thousands of years. Volcanic eruptions that block out the sun. Asteroid impacts that cause mass extinctions. Diseases that kill millions. Natural disasters that reshape continents. And through it all, humans have not just survived, they have thrived. Thane activated a holographic display that showed Earth's history. Images of human cities rising from ashes, of humans exploring the most dangerous environments on their planet, of human space missions pushing the boundaries of their technology. They have learned to survive in environments that would kill most of us instantly. They can function in extreme heat and cold. They can go without food or water for days. They can work together in crisis situations with an efficiency that amazes galactic sociologists. And most importantly, they never give up. Ambassador Krex watched the images with growing unease, but his pride would not let him back down. Elder, these stories may be impressive, but they change nothing. The Star Dominion has conquered dozens of worlds. Our fleets are the most powerful in this sector of the galaxy. If humans are truly as remarkable as you claim, they will make excellent additions to our empire once they are properly trained. A collective gasp echoed through the chamber at this statement. The idea of enslaving humans seemed to shock even the most hardened military representatives. Elder Thane sat down heavily, his face showing the exhaustion of someone who had seen too much history repeat itself. Ambassador Krex, I have watched civilizations rise and fall for over 3,000 years. I have seen proud empires reduced to ash by their own arrogance. What you are planning is not conquest, it is suicide. Your warnings are noted but dismissed, Krex replied coldly. The Star Dominion has made its decision. Our advanced fleets are already moving toward the Sol system. Within one galactic cycle, Earth will bow before our might or face destruction. As Ambassador Krex strode from the chamber, the assembled delegates sat in stunned silence. They had just witnessed something that many had thought impossible, a species voluntarily choosing to attack the humans of Earth. Throughout the chamber, emergency communication channels activated as representatives contacted their home worlds with urgent warnings. Elder Thane remained in his seat long after the other delegates had departed, staring at the holographic image of Earth that still floated in the chamber center. The blue and green planet looked so peaceful from space, its white clouds swirling gently over vast oceans and brown continents. But Thane knew better. He had read the classified reports about Earth's true nature, that IT was a world where the dominant species had to fight for survival against their own planet every single day, where natural selection had created beings capable of adapting to any environment, learning from any challenge, and overcoming any obstacle, where cooperation and competition had forged a species that could accomplish impossible things when threatened. The humans had asked for time to prove they were ready for galactic contact. Now, whether they were ready or not, contact was coming to them. And Elder Thane suspected that the galaxy was about to learn why some worlds were classified as forbidden, and why some species were better left alone until they chose to make contact themselves. In the depths of space, Star Dominion warships moved through hyperspace toward a small yellow star and its third planet. Their crews were confident, their weapons were powerful, and their mission was clear. They had no idea they were flying toward the greatest mistake in their civilization's history. The galaxy held its breath and waited to see what would happen when an unstoppable force met an unmovable object. Deep in the ancient archives of the Galactic Council, automated systems began broadcasting a single message to all member worlds. Warning, contact initiated with Earth. All species advised to maintain safe distance and prepare for potential galactic-scale consequences. The age of human isolation was about to end, and the universe would never be the same again. The hunters become the hunted captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Earth defense ship Defiance, watching the tactical display with calm intensity. Her dark eyes reflected the blue glow of the holographic screens as she studied the approaching alien fleet. At 38 years old, she had spent her entire adult life preparing for this moment. Though she had always hoped it would never come, Captain called out Lieutenant Commander James Park from the sensor station, his voice tight with controlled tension. We have confirmed readings on the alien fleet. 67 vessels approaching from the outer system. They're decelerating from faster-than-light travel and should reach Earth orbit in 18 hours. Elena nodded calmly, her years of training taking over. She had commanded the Defiance for 3 years, and her crew trusted her completely. The ship was humanity's most advanced vessel, built using technology reverse-engineered from the Seeker expedition centuries ago and improved through human innovation. Signal Admiral Chun on Luna Base, she ordered. Tell him the visitors have arrived, and we're implementing Protocol Lazarus. Dr. Marcus Chun, Elena's younger brother and the fleet's chief science officer, looked up from his analysis station. His usually messy hair was even wilder than normal after working for 36 hours straight preparing for this moment. As a xenotechnology specialist, he had spent years studying the limited alien artifacts humanity possessed. Elena, I'm picking up some interesting energy signatures from their ships. Marcus reported, their shield technology is definitely advanced, but it's using harmonic frequencies that create predictable resonance patterns. If we can match those frequencies, we might be able to disrupt their defenses. How long do you need? Elena asked, moving to look over her brother's shoulder at his data. Give me 6 hours, and I can have the frequency disruptors ready. But sister, these ships are massive. Each one is easily 10 times the size of our largest vessels. We're going to need more than clever engineering to win this fight. Elena's expression remained calm, but inside she felt the familiar fire that had driven her family for generations. The Rodriguez family had a long tradition of military service, stretching back to conflicts on Earth that most people had forgotten. They understood something that many peaceful species did not. Sometimes you had to fight for what you believed in. High above Earth's surface, Commander Sarah Blake floated in her stealth reconnaissance pod, watching the alien fleet with professional interest. She was a specialist in deep space operations, trained to survive alone in the void for weeks at a time. Her small ship was virtually invisible to most sensors, painted with adaptive camouflage that mimicked the background radiation of space. "This is Ghost Rider to Defense Command," she transmitted on a secure channel. "I have visual confirmation of the alien fleet. They're maintaining a tight formation and appear confident. No advanced scouting, no defensive screens. They're either very brave or very stupid." Admiral Chen's voice crackled through her communication system from Luna Base. "Ghost Rider, maintain observation and be ready to paint targets when the shooting starts. These aliens are about to get their first lesson in human warfare." Meanwhile, aboard the Star Dominion flagship Inevitable Victory, Fleet Commander Vash surveyed the primitive planet through his ship's main viewer. The blue and green world looked peaceful and defenseless, exactly as his intelligence reports had predicted. Vash was a veteran of dozens of conquests, and he had never encountered a species that could resist the Dominion's advanced technology for more than a few days. Subcommander Krell, he called to his tactical officer, "What is the status of the indigenous forces?" Krell, a younger member of Vash's species with bright orange markings on his exoskeleton, checked his instruments carefully. "Commander, we detect approximately 40 primitive vessels in orbit around the planet. They appear to be using basic fusion drives and simple projectile weapons. Their largest ship is less than 1/10 the size of our smallest cruiser." Vash's mandibles clicked with satisfaction. "Excellent. Signal the fleet to assume bombardment formation. We will demonstrate our power by destroying half their ships, then demand surrender. If they refuse, we will reduce their major cities to ash until they comply." What Vash did not know was that human intelligence services had been monitoring Dominion communications for weeks. Every order he gave was being intercepted and analyzed by teams of cryptographers who had cracked the alien language codes with typical human determination. Captain Elena Rodriguez received the intercepted communications with grim satisfaction. "So, they want to destroy half our ships and then demand surrender," she said to her bridge crew. "I think it's time we showed them why that's a bad idea. Marcus, are those frequency disruptors ready?" "Just finished the final calibrations," her brother replied, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Every ship in the fleet now has the ability to disrupt their shield harmonics. But, Elena, we only get one surprise attack. After that, they'll adapt their defenses." "One surprise is all we need," Elena said with a cold smile that would have made her ancestors proud. "Signal the fleet. All ships implement attack pattern Phoenix. It's time to introduce our visitors to human hospitality." The Earth Defense Fleet had been designed with one principle in mind. If humanity ever faced a technologically superior enemy, they would need to use speed, stealth, and unpredictability to survive. Every ship was equipped with experimental technology that pushed the boundaries of human engineering. Commander Sarah Blake watched from her hidden position as the human fleet suddenly scattered in all directions, moving in patterns that defied conventional military tactics. Instead of forming defensive lines or organized formations, the Earth ships moved like a school of fish avoiding a predator, each vessel following its own seemingly random course. Fleet Commander Vash stared at his tactical display in confusion. "What are they doing? This is not how civilized species conduct space warfare. There is no formation, no coordination, no strategy. Perhaps they are retreating, suggested Subcommander Krell uncertainly. No, Vash replied slowly. They are doing something else. Something I have never seen before. All ships maintain alert status. These humans may be more clever than we assumed. The first human attack came from a direction that should have been impossible. Lieutenant Commander Maria Santos, piloting the fast attack ship Quicksilver, had used the gravity well of Earth's moon to slingshot her vessel at incredible speed toward the alien fleet's flank. Her ship's small size and unconventional approach allowed her to penetrate the Dominion formation before they could react. "This is Quicksilver," she announced calmly over the fleet communication channel. "Beginning frequency disruption attack on the lead cruiser. Wish me luck, everyone." Her ship's modified weapon systems began broadcasting the exact frequency needed to destabilize the alien vessel's shields. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, like a soap bubble popping, the massive cruiser's defensive barriers simply vanished. "Target is naked," Maria reported with professional satisfaction. "All ships, the frequency disruptors, work exactly as advertised. These aliens are about to have a very bad day." The human fleet struck like a pack of wolves, each ship attacking from a different angle and using tactics that confused and terrified the Dominion forces. Instead of standing and fighting like conventional military vessels, the Earth ships hit and ran, disappeared and reappeared, used every piece of space debris and every gravitational anomaly to gain advantage. Captain Rodriguez brought the Defiance in close to a Dominion battleship, matching its course and speed while staying in its sensor blind spot. "Fire all weapons," she ordered calmly. "Let's see how tough these aliens really are." The Defiance unleashed everything it had: nuclear torpedoes, particle beam weapons, and kinetic projectiles fired at relativistic speeds. The alien ship's shields flickered and failed under the unexpected assault, and massive explosions bloomed along its hull. Fleet Commander Vash watched in growing horror as his supposedly invincible fleet was torn apart by opponents he had dismissed as primitives. "How are they doing this?" he demanded. "Their weapons should not be able to penetrate our defenses." "Commander," reported his science officer, "they have somehow learned to disrupt our shield harmonics. But more than that, they are fighting in ways that violate every principle of civilized warfare. They use no formations, follow no rules, and employ tactics that seem designed to cause maximum chaos." Dr. Marcus Chun, monitoring the battle from his position aboard the Defiance, was rapidly analyzing captured alien technology. Every disabled enemy ship provided new information about Dominion capabilities, and his teams of engineers were already working to reverse engineer their systems. "Elena," he called to his sister, "I'm detecting some fascinating energy patterns in their power cores. If we can capture one of their ships intact, I think we can duplicate their faster-than-light drive technology. But more importantly, I'm picking up communication frequencies that suggest this fleet is just the beginning. They have reinforcements coming." Elena nodded grimly. "Then we better make sure the galaxy knows what happens when someone attacks Earth without permission. Sarah, are you getting all this recorded?" Commander Blake's stealth pod had been documenting every moment of the battle, transmitting the data to hidden relay stations throughout the solar system. "Every second, Captain. The whole galaxy is going to see what humans can do when we're properly motivated." The battle raged for 6 hours, but the outcome was never really in doubt once the humans gained the initiative. The Dominion fleet had been designed to fight other conventional military forces, not opponents who refused to follow the accepted rules of warfare. Human ships appeared from impossible angles, used weapons in ways their designers had never intended, and fought with a ferocity that shocked veteran alien warriors to be why the end of the engagement, 43 Dominion vessels had been destroyed or disabled. The remaining ships fled toward the outer system, carrying with them news that would shake the very foundations of galactic civilization. Subcommander Krell, now the highest-ranking Dominion officer still alive, transmitted a desperate message to his home world. "Central Command, this is Emergency Priority Alpha. The Earth invasion has failed catastrophically. The humans are not primitives. They are something else entirely. They fight like demons and learn faster than any species we have ever encountered. Request immediate strategic withdrawal of all forces from human space. The response from Dominion High Command was swift and predictable. Subcommander, your report is rejected as impossible. Increase fleet strength and try again. The primitive humans cannot possibly defeat our superior technology. Captain Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Defiance, watching the fleeing alien ships disappear into hyperspace. Around her, the crew celebrated their victory, but Elena felt no joy. She knew this was only the beginning. Marcus, she said quietly, how long before their reinforcements arrive? Her brother consulted his analysis of the captured alien communications. Based on their fleet deployment patterns, I estimate we have maybe 3 weeks before they come back with everything they have. And sister, everything they have is going to be a lot more than 67 ships. Elena nodded and activated the fleet communication channel. All ships, this is Captain Rodriguez. Congratulations on a job well done, but the fight is just beginning. Every captured alien ship is a treasure trove of technology that we need to understand. Every piece of equipment they left behind is a weapon we can use against them. We have 3 weeks to prepare for the next attack, and we're going to use every minute of it. Throughout the solar system, human engineering teams began the massive task of reverse engineering alien technology. The wreckage of Dominion ships provided templates for new weapons, new shields, and new propulsion systems. But more importantly, it provided something that humans had always been exceptionally good at using. The tools of their enemies turned against them. As news of the battle spread throughout the galaxy, ancient beings like Elder Thane could only shake their heads in resignation. The humans had done exactly what he had predicted they would do. They had taken the advanced technology of their enemies, improved upon it, and were now preparing to use it in ways the original creators had never imagined. The Star Dominion had made the classic mistake of underestimating a species from a death world. Now they were about to learn why some beings were better left alone, and why the humans of Earth had asked for time to prepare before joining the galactic community. The hunters had become hunted, and the galaxy was about to discover what happened when humanity finally decided to leave their home world and introduce themselves to the universe. The galaxy learns why Earth is forbidden 3 weeks after the first battle. The Galactic Unity Council's emergency session convened in an atmosphere of unprecedented tension. Elder Thane sat at the center of the chamber, his ancient face grave, as he reviewed reports flooding in from across the galaxy. The news was beyond anything the Council had ever dealt with in its 1,000-year history. Delegate Zyra of the Crystal Collective shimmered with agitation as she presented her findings. Honored members, our deep space monitoring stations have detected impossible energy signatures coming from the Sol system. The humans appear to have not only repaired their fleet, but expanded it using Star Dominion technology. In 3 weeks, they have accomplished what should take decades of research and development. Representative Korth of the Machine Worlds processed the data with electronic precision. Analysis confirms that human learning capabilities exceed all known parameters. They have reverse-engineered Dominion shield technology, propulsion systems, and weapons platforms. More concerning, they have improved upon the original designs. Elder Thane nodded slowly, his worst fears being confirmed. What else have our observers reported? Delegate Mora of the Singing Winds rippled with concern as she spoke. Elder, the humans have done something unprecedented. Instead of waiting for the next Dominion attack, they have gone on the offensive. Human ships have been detected in deep space, conducting what appear to be reconnaissance missions throughout Dominion territory. The chamber erupted in shocked whispers. No species in galactic history had ever responded to an attempted invasion by immediately counterattacking across interstellar distances. Most civilizations focused on defensive measures and diplomatic solutions. Meanwhile, in the depths of space near the Dominion border world of Kethvar, Commander Sarah Blake piloted her upgraded stealth ship through the outer system's asteroid field. Her vessel now incorporated alien technology that made her virtually invisible to even the most advanced sensors. Behind her, a small fleet of human ships waited in the shadows between worlds. This is Ghost Rider to Strike Team Alpha, she transmitted on a secure quantum channel. I have visual confirmation of the Dominion supply depot, 12 cargo vessels, and minimal escort. Their security is focused outward, expecting attacks from known threats. They have no idea we're here. Captain Elena Rodriguez, now commanding a small battle group of hybrid human-alien ships, reviewed the tactical situation from the bridge of the redesigned Defiance. The vessel had been completely rebuilt using captured Dominion technology, but improved with human innovation. Where the aliens had created efficient but predictable systems, humans had added redundancy, adaptability, and the kind of creative engineering that came from a species used to making impossible things work. Sarah, what's the garrison's strength? Elena asked. Minimal. Maybe 50 Dominion personnel total. Elena, these aren't military targets. They're civilians, technicians, and cargo handlers. Are we really going to attack non-combatants? Elena's expression remained hard, but her voice carried a note of regret. Our mission is to capture intact technology and gather intelligence. We're not here to hurt civilians, but we can't let concerns about collateral damage stop us from protecting Earth. The Dominion made the choice to invade our home. Dr. Marcus Chun, now serving as the fleet's chief technology officer, had been analyzing Dominion communications for days. His teams had cracked their encryption codes and were monitoring military traffic across dozens of star systems. What they had learned was both terrifying and encouraging. Elena, Marcus reported, the Dominion High Command is in chaos. They've lost contact with 3 border worlds, and their supply lines are being disrupted by what they call phantom attacks. But more importantly, they're mobilizing everything they have. Intelligence suggests a fleet of over 300 ships is being assembled for a final assault on Earth. Elena absorbed this information with the calm that had made her an effective commander. How long do we have? 2 weeks, maybe less. But sister, there's something else. The Dominion has been sending requests for military assistance to other aggressive species in the galaxy. They're trying to build a coalition against humanity. Then we better make sure the galaxy understands what they're getting into, Elena replied grimly. All ships, begin the operation. Let's show the Dominion what human creativity can accomplish when we put our minds to it. The human attack on the Kethvar supply depot was unlike anything in the history of galactic warfare. Instead of destroying the facility, the human ships used precision strikes to disable defensive systems while minimizing casualties. Within hours, they had captured the entire depot intact, along with its cargo of advanced technology and its personnel. But the humans did something that shocked the captured Dominion workers even more than the speed of their defeat. Instead of executing prisoners or enslaving them, the humans provided medical care for the wounded and treated their captives according to protocols that exceeded even the most civilized species standards for prisoner treatment. Subcommander Kelf, the depot's ranking officer, found himself sitting across from Captain Rodriguez in what had been his own conference room. The human woman was smaller than he was and lacked the natural armor of a species, but something in her eyes made him deeply uneasy. Subcommander, Elena said politely, we need information about Dominion fleet movements and defensive positions. I'm hoping you'll cooperate voluntarily because we really don't want to use more aggressive interrogation methods. Kelfa's compound eyes studied the human commander carefully. What methods? Your species appears to follow some code of conduct regarding prisoners. We do, Elena confirmed. But you attacked our home world without provocation. You came to our system with the intention of conquering or destroying everything we hold dear. That tends to make humans extremely creative about finding solutions to problems. Dr. Marcus Chun entered the room carrying a small device that hummed with electronic energy. Subcommander, this is a neural interface adapter. It will allow us to directly access your memory centers and extract the information we need. The process won't cause permanent damage, but it will be extremely unpleasant. Kelf stared at the device in horror. The humans had taken Dominion medical technology and modified it in ways that his people had never considered. This is a violation of galactic conventions regarding prisoner treatment. The galactic conventions were written by species who fight civilized wars, Elena replied calmly. Your people chose to make this personal when you threatened our families. Now you get to experience what happens when humans stop being polite and start being practical. The interrogation of Dominion prisoners provided intelligence that changed everything. The humans learned the locations of major Dominion military bases, the specifications of their most advanced ships, and most importantly, the political structure that held their empire together. Commander Sarah Blake led a series of raids that struck at the heart of Dominion power. Using stealth technology that combined human innovation with alien science, her teams infiltrated communication centers, sabotaged supply lines, and gathered intelligence that revealed the true extent of Dominion plans. Elena, Sarah reported during one of their regular briefings, the Dominion isn't just planning to destroy Earth. They want to make an example of humanity to discourage other species from resisting their expansion. They're planning to broadcast the destruction of our major cities throughout the galaxy as a demonstration of their power. Elena's calm facade cracked slightly, revealing the fury beneath. Are they now? Well, two can play that game. Marcus, how are our new ships coming along? Dr. Chen's team had been working around the clock to produce vessels that combined the best of human and alien technology. The results were ships that looked nothing like either human or Dominion designs, but incorporated advantages from both. The prototype is ready for testing, Marcus reported with barely contained excitement. Elena, this ship can travel faster than anything the Dominion has, hit harder than their battleships, and disappear completely from their sensors. We've created something that shouldn't be possible according to conventional physics. The human fleet that emerged from the Sol system 2 weeks later was nothing like what the Dominion expected to face. Instead of primitive vessels upgraded with capture technology, they encountered ships that represented a fusion of human creativity and alien science that neither species could have achieved alone. Fleet Admiral Voketh, commanding the largest military force the Dominion had ever assembled, studied the approaching human fleet with growing concern. His force consisted of 312 of the most advanced warships in Dominion space, supported by logistics vessels and carrying enough firepower to sterilize entire planets. Admiral reported his science officer, the human ships are not matching any known design patterns. Their energy signatures are completely unlike anything in our databases. How many ships are we facing? Voketh demanded. 47 vessels, sir. But Admiral, their individual power readings are off the scale. Each ship appears to be generating energy levels comparable to our largest battleships. Admiral Voketha's mandibles clicked with nervous energy. Something was wrong here. No species could advance their technology this rapidly, especially not one that had been classified as primitive just months ago. The battle that followed became known throughout the galaxy as the demonstration. The humans had learned that the Dominion planned to broadcast Earth's destruction as propaganda, so they decided to send a different message to the galaxy. Captain Rodriguez, now commanding the prototype vessel Indomitable, led the human fleet into combat with the precision of a conductor directing a symphony. Every ship knew its role, every weapon had been tested and perfected, and every tactic had been designed to showcase human capabilities to the watching galaxy. All ships, Elena announced over the fleet communication channel, remember that the entire galaxy is watching this battle. Let's show them what humans can do when we're properly motivated. Signal the Dominion fleet. Offer them one chance to surrender and withdraw from human space. Admiral Voketha's response was swift and predictable. Primitive humans, you face the might of the Dominion Empire. Surrender now and we will grant you quick deaths. Continue to resist, and we will make your suffering legendary throughout the galaxy. Elena's smile was cold as ice. Admiral, you just made a fatal mistake. No one threatens human families and lives to tell about it. All ships, you are free to demonstrate why Earth is classified as a forbidden world. The human attack was a masterpiece of coordination and technology. Ships that could phase in and out of normal space struck from impossible angles. Weapons that combined human innovation with alien science tore through Dominion shields like they were made of paper. Most importantly, every moment of the battle was being recorded and broadcast throughout the galaxy by human intelligence services. Elder Thane watched the battle from the Galactic Council chamber, his ancient heart heavy with the knowledge of what was happening. Around him, representatives from hundreds of worlds sat in stunned silence as they witnessed the systematic destruction of the most powerful fleet in known space. Elder, whispered Delegate Zyra, "How are they doing this?" 3 months ago, these humans had barely achieved faster-than-light travel. Because, Thane replied sadly, they are what we call an apex species. They come from a world so dangerous that it has shaped them into the ultimate survivors. They learn faster than any other species, adapt to any challenge, and never surrender no matter how impossible the odds. The Dominion fleet lasted exactly 4 hours and 17 minutes against the human force. When the battle ended, only a handful of alien ships remained intact, and those only because the humans had deliberately spared them to carry word back to Dominion space. Admiral Voketh, his flagship crippled and his fleet in ruins, found himself face-to-face with Captain Rodriguez on a communication channel. The human commander looked tired but determined as she delivered her message. "Admiral, you're going to return to your home world and deliver a message from humanity. Tell your leaders that Earth is no longer asking to be left alone. We're demanding it. Any species that threatens human space will face the same fate as your fleet." We tried to be polite about joining the galactic community, but apparently some people only understand force. As the surviving Dominion ships limped home, carrying news of their defeat, the galaxy began to understand what Elder Thane had been trying to tell them. The humans were not just another species to be cataloged and studied. They were something unprecedented, a civilization that combined the survival instincts of a death world with the intelligence and creativity needed to master any technology they encountered. Within days of the battle, the Galactic Unity Council passed Resolution 2847, officially recognizing humanity as a protected species and establishing Earth as a forbidden world that could only be contacted with explicit human consent. More importantly, they established the Human Liaison Office, acknowledging that humanity was now a force that needed to be included in galactic politics. Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the observation deck of the newly constructed Luna Station, watching Earth turn slowly in space below. The blue and green world looked the same as it always had, but everything else had changed. Humanity was no longer alone in the universe, and they had proven that being from a death world was not a disadvantage but the greatest possible advantage to Dr. Marcus Chun joined his sister at the viewing port, carrying a datapad filled with applications from alien species requesting technological exchanges with humanity. "Elena, we've got 17 different civilizations asking for trade agreements, 12 species wanting military alliances, and 3 empires requesting human assistance with territorial disputes." Elena smiled, the expression tired but satisfied. "Marcus, remember when our biggest worry was whether we'd ever make contact with alien life? Those were simpler times," Marcus replied with a laugh. "But, sister, I think we've proven that humans are ready to join the galactic community. We just did it on our own terms instead of someone else's." Above them, the first human deep space exploration fleet prepared to depart for distant stars. They carried with them not just advanced technology and powerful weapons, but something more important. The knowledge that humanity had earned its place among the stars through courage, determination, and the refusal to surrender in the face of impossible odds. The galaxy had learned why Earth was classified as a forbidden world. It was not because humans were too primitive to join galactic civilization, but because they were too dangerous to be approached carelessly. They were the children of a death world, forged by millennia of survival against impossible odds, and they had proven that sometimes the greatest threats come in the smallest packages. Elder Thane, watching from his chamber on Harmony Prime, could only shake his head in amazement. The humans had done exactly what he had predicted they would do, but even he had underestimated the speed and completeness of their victory. They had taken the attack on their world and turned it into an opportunity to demonstrate their capabilities to the entire galaxy. The age of human isolation was over, and the universe would never be the same again. The galaxy had a new member, one that had proven beyond any doubt that they belonged among the stars. And somewhere in the depths of space, other civilizations began to wonder what other surprises the children of Earth might have in store for the universe.